MVPs this week, Aramis had some family stuff to go do. Not bad family stuff, just family stuff. They gotta know. I don't want to think.
It wasn't a family emergency. They're out having fun as a family. Okay.
When we called him, he was taking a nap. So
that's fun for a man.
I don't know. I don't sleep enough.
Right.
Actually, I sleep the right amount. Y'all sleep too much.
So we're going to be talking about plot holes in anime today, and just questions that need to be explained or answered, or should be. And some of these, I've come up with explanations on my own just because, and then you've had the creators of the show come out and then say that they just forgot about it completely.
Yeah. Yeah, not Kurama, but Oda, who goes through and is like, no, in this little side we'll explain shit that happened on the side that people might care about. And then
his OTAs.
Yeah.
He explains a lot of his OTAs and stuff like that, but no, speaking of Akira Toriyama, I mean, he straight up said that he forgot about Saiyan tails.
Yeah.
I mean, because he didn't give Trunks or Goten a tail, and they're half Saiyans, but Gohan had a tail, so it's I just forgot about him, and I always chalked it up to everyone knew about the Saiyan tail, so they just cut him off immediately or ripped him out, But another plot hole with tails, Goku had his tail cut off 3 times when he was a kid.
I took it as it just being the differences between recessive and dominant traits. It's you don't get all the dominant traits, you don't get all the recessive traits, and it's the trait that you got from being human was you didn't have a tail. You just didn't get that trait.
But Gohan had a tail.
Yeah, but you can have siblings and not have the same icon.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But yeah, and then I was saying, Goku got his tail cut off I think at least twice in Dragon Ball.
Something like that.
Yeah, pulled out and cut off. Pulled out once, cut off once. Vegeta got his tail cut off one time, never grew back.
Yep.
And we were talking about it yesterday a little bit, and you can chalk it up to Gohan was a child, so it was easier for him to grow his tail back or whatever.
And Goku was a child when it happened to him.
Yeah, and then Vegeta, when his tail was cut off, he was 20, 26, something like that, 25, 26, some shit like that, so he couldn't grow back. So it kind of makes sense, I guess, if you want to chalk it up to that, to that. But I mean, he straight up said, "No, I forgot."
Yeah, it was more power to you just being straight up honest about it.
But then when he wrote the scene where you meet Turles, yeah, Vegeta's brother, he had a tail. So it's you didn't completely forget. Tarble, yeah, Vegeta's brother. He had a tail, and it's you didn't completely forget.
I think somebody had already brought it back up by that time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but still at the same time, it's just come on. And then we didn't get Tails again until Dragon Ball GT, which was, I hated that anime. It was so bad.
I thought GT was perfectly fine. A lot of people hate on GT, and it's just whenever someone's really hating on GT, I'm always what did you not like about GT? People are they made Goku a kid again. And I was and? Literally just stop there.
I mean, I didn't like I can go on. I didn't like the Dragon Balls took on a form of their own, you know what I mean? And that Dark Shinron could absorb them and stuff like that. It was just super weird. That it wasn't the aspect of the Dragon Balls. The Dragon Balls were created by the Namekians and stuff like that to create wishes for people to help them in their world and stuff like that.
They were abused to the point where it was just constantly being used for personal gain to the point where they were no, this isn't what they were for.
Was that explained in GT?
It was.
Oh man,
that's why
I stopped watching it. So I was this is so trash.
People are yeah, the Dragon Balls aren't supposed to be like that, and I was and then you go through and watch those and it's Goku had to straight up murk 7 Dragonoids.
Yeah.
In order to get the Dragon Balls back, and then he fought Shenron, who absorbed the other Dragon Balls, so he had to fight Omega Shenron.
Right.
And it gave one of the arguably at that time, one of the best fights in Dragon Ball Z, because
Super Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball's a franchise.
Yeah, period. So I was Omega Shenron versus Super Saiyan 4 Goku was,
that transformation.
It was great.
And I didn't like Baby. I thought Baby was just it was Boo. Baby was Majin Buu all over again, basically.
Yeah. I get that as a kind of a recycled thing.
But they do that a lot in Dragon Ball Z. We've talked about that.
But the thing about Baby was I like that it was a callback to no, there are species that were wiped out by the Saiyans.
Oh, 110%.
There are people who are out there in the world who have beef with Saiyans.
Yeah, you get that with Granola and Super and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Which if you guys haven't read it, you should read it. It's great. But there's plot holes in that too. It's that doesn't make a lot that.
I haven't read any of Super.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in that don't make a lot of sense too. There's a lot of plot holes in Dragon Ball Z, and then Fairy Tail. There's so many plot holes in Fairy Tail. It's like
Yeah.
there are hundreds of wizards, thousands of wizards, whatever, in this world, and then in other countries and stuff like that. There's
Pretty much, if you want to be a wizard, you can be.
right. Somehow, one celestial wizard has all of the golden keys. How did she collect? How did one person collect all of them and not get them taken away? She has 12, or not celestial keys. I'm sorry.
I know what you meant though. They might have been called celestial keys. I don't remember. But to be fair, she did gather those keys.
well, her mom gathered a lot of them too. But it's like,
But they were also redistributed after her mom got to them.
but they're all
Over the
have
course
to
of
be.
the show, she got those keys, and she didn't end up with all of those. There was
But
another celestial wizard who had like 3 of the keys.
But she ended up getting them then by the end of the show, though.
Because that girl died.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it's a whole world.
Mhm.
Somehow they all end up in one place.
And think about it, they explained how celestial wizards work. It was like, no, you are using your magic to call upon this spirit. They even explained Lucy was an amazing celestial spirit wizard just because she was able to bring out 2 at a time.
Right.
And it was like, you're not supposed to be able to bring out a celestial spirit and then do another celestial spirit. Because she also had the little fucked up little snowman always out.
Yeah.
It was like, she had that out and then was pulling out 2, 3 celestials anytime she fucking wanted. It's like, no, she was, from what we saw from the show, she was the best celestial spirit user.
So
Just period.
there's another plot hole with Leo. So his celestial spirit wizard died.
Yep.
He should have gone back to the stars.
Just off pure Leo was like, I don't want to go.
So that whole time he was using his magic.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way. Even when he went back and became a celestial again, his magic should have been all put back. Right? He should have gotten all of his magic back. He should have been OP as fuck as a character. When he came back, he was the exact same strength as he was, and he was more like. I always pictured him. Not even gonna lie, I hated him in a suit. I wish they would have given him like a suit of armor, like a golden suit of armor with lion and stuff like that.
The suit was right.
Nah, man, I hated him.
Because Leo was a fuckboy.
He was a fuckboy, 110%. Like,
the suit was right. He wanted to be a fuckboy.
And he was a fuckboy. Like, he was trying to fuck everyone.
He was like, I'm about these hoes. I'm supposed to come in all armor, and they're like, nah, the hoes don't want that.
Right, and like, also just Natsu's ability to like train for 2 months and become like so much stronger. That frustrated me because the fact that he came in and took out like the entire what was that group called, the Dragon group, or what do they call it, the Thunder group, or damn it, it's been a while since I watched that fucking anime.
You're talking about when he came back to the Magic Games?
Yeah, and like remember they like sacrificed that girl or whatever, and then they were punishing her because she lost, and then he came in, kicked in the fucking door, and started beating the fuck out of like everyone in that guild.
Oh, that was after. That wasn't after a training arc. That was after
the 2-year time skip.
That was,
but he was frozen for 2 years. Like he comes back, like he was not that strong.
The thing was, he was that strong. They underestimated how strong the original Fairy Tail guild was. They were like, oh, like Fairy Tail was known for being rowdy and rambunctious. They were known for being powerful, but it's like today's players in the NBA playing Jordan. It's like, I heard stories about you. I've seen what you did, like, from being told and seeing videos, but I haven't ever played you. And they underestimated what the Fairy Tail Guild actually was. Because they did the same thing with Urza fighting off the 100 monsters.
See, that also, I was just like, how? She should have died in that. Like,
well, there's a lot of moments people should have just fucking died.
Yeah,
I was like, that's a whole different
anime. I just finished, like, how to not, is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon?
Mm-hmm.
They were on the 37th floor with 2 fucking people. They should have 2 level 4s.
Already injured.
They should have been dead. They should have been. And then when he blew up the Coliseum, they were standing in the middle of it.
Yep.
He wasn't even burned. Neither was she.
This is like, y'all are fine after this,
right? I was like, doesn't make any fucking sense at all. And then they had like 9 people maybe take on a floor boss, and they somehow won. They should have all died. All of them should have fucking died.
The 9 people versus the floor boss, that's kind of iffy. Because planning will win you fights.
Yeah.
Like, especially the fighting monsters. It's like,
but that fucking girl was like, she wasn't healing anyone.
Oh, no.
She was totally stricken by fear because of her dream, which didn't even come true. So it's just like, listen, you've said you've had like these...
No. she has, because me and Erebus were talking about it, she has that So Raven visions. It's what you are thinking of is going to happen, but what it actually meant and what it actually was not what you thought it was. You interpreted this shit wrong. That's your problem. And the simple fact that it was like, you keep saying something bad's gonna happen and will not tell us why you think that.
Well, it's also like the fourth dream or vision she's had, and none of them have come true. At this point, you think she'd be like, maybe it's okay. You know what I mean?
I don't remember her saying none of them came true.
Well, so she saw the first one whenever Belle was fighting the Minotaur? And
No. It was one dream. When she went down to the dungeon, it was one dream.
Yeah.
And she kept thinking that, oh, this is the bad thing.
Right.
This is the bad
but
thing.
I'm talking. That's not her. That's not the first vision she's had in the show.
Right. I don't remember them ever explaining that her visions were wrong. Because the vision that she just had wasn't wrong. Bad shit did happen. She just took that the bad shit was going to be everybody died.
Right.
It's like, no, not everybody died. Bad shit happened, and it's fucking terrible. But, like...
Well, she also got visions, you know, of her friends all laying there dead and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So if you're getting a cryptic message on top of visions of bad shit,
Because it's one of those things like you got images, but at the same time, if that's just premonitions, and you're just like, hey, if in your mind if you're saying that, oh, the visions that I got are not 100%, like it's not that I can't do anything to stop it, then why aren't you actually just speaking up and saying, hey, I think that this is going to happen. That way we can just plan out that shit. And it's like, oh, you think that's going to happen? And then, as your friend, I can go, all right, well, she said this was going to happen, and that did happen.
See,
she said this was going to happen, that did
That's
happen.
the thing that frustrated me, too. She just came running out and was just like, we shouldn't go. It's like, why? You didn't explain it. It's like, if I explain it, no one's going to believe me. You don't know that. Like, you should talk your shit.
And it's like, maybe Belle will believe me. It's like, maybe your fucking friend will believe you. Because she's the one who was like, no, we're friends for a long time. Everybody else is like, well, no, I'm not going to believe you. I don't fucking know you.
Right.
It's like, you're going to walk up to, what was her name, Aisha or whatever? And it was like,
I don't think you should go. I think you should stay with the group.
It's like, bitch, you don't fucking know me.
Right.
It's like, me and Fox, bitch, we're good.
That was another thing. Like, Aisha's a level 4, and she should be more powerful. She is the same level as Belle. And we talked about it, like, his ability gives him the ability to go above and beyond his ability.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he, like, his ability is, like, level boost itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he is a level 4, but he can, like, push himself to a level 5 or even a level 6, depending on if the situation needs it. You know what I mean? Because he kind of has, like, plot armor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, like, when they were all fighting in the dungeon and stuff like that, they were being overwhelmed by monsters, and he came running in, and they cut that giant hole in the ground so that he could use his firebolt, and he took out all of them in one shot. He should not have been able to do that.
Because I also take when they go through the levels, shit. It's because I've played some of D&D. I also understand it's like all level 4s are not the same.
Yes.
And it's like there's a difference between my abilities and your abilities. We're both level 4s, but being a level 4 monk is way different than being a level 4 barbarian.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's like level 4 barbarian, you can take all the hits. Level 4 fucking monk, you can dodge all the hits.
So if you take this in like D&D, so Welf is a blacksmith. So he probably doesn't have a lot of strength. Well, he got that new sword that he created, which that's another needs to be explained because magic swords should not be that powerful. Yes, it's made out of adamantite, but still that should break after a while because every other magic sword except because I don't know if you consider his dagger a magic sword because it more has an enchantment on it.
Yeah, I mean I think they were chalking it up to being a magic sword.
And then
or are you talking about the dagger from that he got from Hephaestus?
The one he got from Hephaestus.
Yeah. Okay.
So because it has an enchantment on it.
Yeah.
And the unicorn sword has no enchantment on it. It just other than it's being a unicorn horn, so it can nullify poison, which they explain that in itself.
Well, the thing is, the dagger from Hephaestus grows with him,
which I thought was awesome too.
So I think that's just literally what that is. Like it can break if it's under enough stress versus something super super high. It's like, but
it's not like a magic sword, is what I'm saying. It's
where
like
you
it's
got
an
3
enchanted,
uses.
right? It's an enchanted sword, not a magic sword. I feel like those are two different things. So unless they need to come and explain, like unless Welf enchanted this sword and then made it magical, and it's made out of adamantite, so it's like you have 3 bars on it, so that's why it's not going to break. And it does use his magic. Like, you saw how fucking wiped he got after using that thing a couple of times. But, so I would love to see that in someone else's hands that is a magic user. Like, if you put that in, I'm trying to think of the elf girl, I can't remember what her name is. But if you put that in her hands, her magic is fucking OP as shit.
Cause I think I took it as, because I would like more of an explanation, because I took it as the difference between making something that's a conductor versus making something for storage.
Right? Something that something that outputs the power on itself, because you saw that, like, a little bit was using electric abilities, and, like, she doesn't have any magic that we've seen so far other than transformation.
And it's like, let this amplify what I'm doing.
Exactly.
Instead of it is storing 3 charges of electricity.
Exactly. This is more so, this takes my magic, transforms it to fire, and then shoots it.
Yeah.
So, which would be a good explanation, but they need to come in and explain that.
Yeah, because right now they were just they literally just said, it was like, hey, I'm making a magic sword that doesn't break because magic swords break.
Well, so Aisha's sword is also a magic sword, because you saw her shooting stuff out of it. So it, like, they need to explain that. Because that was the first time you saw a sword, something being shot out of a sword. You know what I mean? Because you saw her, and then when they showed the flashback and that girl was able to ignite her sword and stuff like that, it's like, okay, is that sword absorbing her magical ability? And then, because you saw she was using fire.
Well, maybe you just go buy this from someone, because you can.
Yeah.
That's just off the shelf.
Yeah, and it's like, crazy expensive, though. You saw how, like, that dagger was $1.5 billion, something shit like that.
I mean, to be fair, that dagger was made by Hephaestus herself.
Yeah.
And it was like, Hestia came up to her.
That did upset me a little bit that they changed the sex of Hephaestus, because Hephaestus has always been an ugly-ass fucking dude.
Yeah.
But, like, I get it, kind of, because you want the show to be more appealing.
Yeah.
And I also don't. I hate the elephant guy. What's his name? Elephant mask.
I know who you're talking about. I can't remember.
Ganesha.
Yeah.
I fucking hate Ganesha, because I'm sorry, not Ganesha the god. Obviously, that's terrible. I don't want to say that. The animation adaptation of Ganesha, because I feel like if you look up, because I was like, is this actually what he is supposed to be? And he is a god of, like, partying and abundance and everything like that. So I get it, but at the same time, it's like, you went over the top with this dude.
Because I think that's the show's not to be based off of the gods or anything. It's not, we're going hardcore on your mythos. So it's like, I don't think any of that's really gonna affect me unless, like, they come through and it's just like, this is a god that, like, you've known for a while, and it's just like, but let's make a hard turn, and they have nothing to do with their mythos at all.
And then a show that has, I rewatched recently, that has
like,
a
we saw
lot of
Loki,
plot
and it's just like, here's Loki, the god of thunder. It's like, wait, what? No.
Yeah, that didn't make a lot of sense either. I was like,
no, they didn't make him that. I was just saying if they did.
Oh, right.
Like, no, that's completely fine.
But I mean, when Loki was Loki as a female, I'm like, Loki's been depicted as a female many times. He can change his sex. He's a god of mischief. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. Like, he can literally transform himself. So
all I know, Hephaestus, it can also change, and he's just like, you know what? Fuck it.
I'm gonna be a girl. I don't know if his wife would like that very much, but you know,
she didn't like him very much. So.
She did not. If anyone doesn't know, Hephaestus' wife is Aphrodite. So, like, he got a great wife, fucking smoking hot, but she doesn't. She leaves him all the time. Cheated on him a lot with a lot of different people. Yeah.
But y'all know this because you played God of War.
Exactly. But I think The Eminence in Shadow has so many plot holes. Like, so many. Like, his luck has to be maxed out for everything to fall the way it did. And, like, Season 2 needs to come through and explain it a little bit better, because
I don't think, because we were talking about this before, I think the stuff that you're hung up on isn't, like, real plot holes.
Okay, so when he randomly threw the knife and it was right exactly where his sister happened to be.
It wasn't.
It was.
That's not even what they were looking for.
They were looking for his sister.
When he threw that knife, they were just looking for spots that had the that cult being there.
Right, because the cult is the one who kidnapped his
She
sister.
had nothing to do with what he was doing. It's like they were, because looking for them and what he was doing in that moment had nothing to do with where they actually were. It was just like, hey, we're looking for places where they could be.
Right, and he threw that knife, and that just happened to be where his sister
was. And
was
they
at.
went just down in the sewer. It was just anywhere around here could be where, because it's literally threw something at a map.
Yeah.
A map is gonna, it's like, Unless they came through and been like, no, we went down in this map and exactly where he hit on here is exactly where that little lab was. They didn't do that. They're like, he hit somewhere on the map, look around there. That's very easy. In a place where it's just literally all they have to do is they're hiding in. They're hiding.
To be fair, he did throw it like in the middle of like where everything was.
They were like, they have to be here, and he was like,
look there.
and I get it, and it was like, because he did fuck up on his throw, because he even goes, oh damn, that's not where I was going.
Right.
It's like, but it's like literally, you go anywhere down in the sewers, and it's just like, no, also, it's just they're hiding down here.
Also, he kind of winged a story, you know what I mean, for Alpha. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he saw that wine bottle and was like, the Cult of Diablos. Mm-hmm. And then he was like, he picked up a book and was like, that was a fairy tale, not even a true story. And was like, this was a true story.
Well, because here's the thing.
And then find out that the Cult of Diablos, and this all was a true story, and they are trying to bring back the Demon Diablos, and it is like this huge, massive cult that has incorporated the entire world, basically. And it's like, this is... How?
He does not know, or he has not studied what the fairy tales in that world are about. It's literally just all the fairy tales that we know about, and we understand that, hey, they stemmed from this. He doesn't know. It's like, no, that fairy tale stemmed from an actual thing that was going on. It was confirmed. They made it a fairy tale for children. And it's like, no, that shit never left because no one ever rooted out all the shit. So it's literally just like, no, Cult of Diablos, and it was like, oh, well, just saw the name, went with the story. Once you do actual research and digging, and it's like, oh no, now I know where this came from. It's like any other thing that's like named, is like you can figure out where that name came from.
Yeah, right. I just thought it was so weird that like, and then he thought that he wasn't right, and thought that the girls were all playing like a play for him. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then come to find out that like, no, this world is actually a super fucked up place, mm-hmm. trying to bring back this demon to rule the world, and it's like, fuck.
That group is. Not everybody.
Not everybody, but the Cult of Diablos that has infiltrated the church and the kingdom, you know, like the inner circle of the kingdom, mm-hmm. and stuff like that, and the school itself and everything like that, and it's like this group has its nails in deep everywhere.
And it was one of those literal things where, like, when they were leaving, and he was like, yeah, like, eventually y'all were gonna have to, like, be people in the world, and it was like, the whole Eminence and Shadow thing was going to be just a him thing. It was like, I helped y'all out, and I'm letting y'all grow as people, and when y'all finally decide to fucking leave, and it's like, yeah, go be adults. Like, I'm not gonna be mad at you for doing that, go be adults.
And then they kept the mission going.
And then he was like, that's not what I thought y'all were doing. And then you pop back up and was like, yeah, so why don't you meet us here?
I thought it was,
and we'll talk about it.
I thought it was hilarious whenever he like finds out how much funds, you know, he actually has. He's just like, wait, I have all this money?
Stole that piano?
Right? But like I thought, oh man, when he transformed his room, that was pretty dope. Not even gonna lie, how he did it in like no time at all either. But I thought that was great. But
so going through and realizing how much like he, because every time they bring up another one of the girls, it's just like, okay, he has like the base group of those girls. It's like, no, he was talking to y'all and like teaching y'all shit from like our world and shit. Because he was like, yeah, when he first like saw old girl playing, and it was like, huh, Beethoven's Seventh Symphony or whatever. I really like the song, and it was like, it's a different rendition. And then he looked and he's like, that fucking Gamma or whatever she was. And it's like, oh, that makes sense now.
Or the books. He's just like Dragon Ball X, Jiu-Jitsu. Magic.
Like, these all sound very familiar.
He's like, and he's reading it, and he's just like, the blatant plagiarism is actually quite refreshing. Then he walks up.
Signing this, it's like, this bitch.
I'm like, Beta, what are you doing? She's like, hello. Oh, it was great.
Going to the mall, and it was just like, yeah, so that thing you made, yeah, we sell a lot of it now. What are you talking about? Chocolate. Oh, damn. Yeah, that's.
The thong scene. The scene with the thong. I also... This is not a plot hole, it just didn't make any sense to me. When he was in the bathhouse, he gets out of the bathhouse, and he's just like talking about the sword and the sheath. Super weird, by the way. And then he takes the towel and throws it through his legs and smacks his own ass with it. I'm like, not only does that seem just I don't know why you do that, just out of pocket. That sounds and seems extremely painful, too, at the same time. Like, that does not seem like something that you want to do.
Like, at all. It was the weirdest power move.
And then she got up and did it herself. We didn't show it, thankfully. But, like, yeah, weirdest power move ever. So strange. And then, I also, like, I'm up to, like, episode, like...
But Sid is an unapologetic what Aizen actually is. Like, you didn't actually mean to set any of this in motion. It happened, and it turned out good for you.
Oh, yeah.
And you will straight up be like, I'm playing the character that they need me to be. Because this is what they think I am, and I can't now come through and be like...
Well, it's the same thing that's going on with Overwatch, or not Overwatch, Overlord has a lot of plot holes in it itself, too, because, like, it's never explained, like, what happened to his real body? How did he get to this world? We're in season 3 or 4.
Well, that's none of that. Like, I can't even begin to care about that because I watch too many isekais for that. Because a lot of those are like, hey, you're just here now.
Well, sometimes it's like they died. You know what I mean? Or they put on a VR rig or something like that, and it's explained.
But a lot of them are like, you're just...
What other ones aren't really explained?
You're watching. You're watching a couple of isekais. I'm reading and watching a bunch of shit. So that's why I'm like, I'm not caring to go into what's happening.
The Shadow was explained. That's also something that made me laugh so hard about that anime, that he got brain trauma because he was trying to break a rock with his head, so he went temporarily insane, running through the woods, yelling atomic, and got smoked by a fucking truck.
I think he went insane before he started hitting his head on the rock.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, you know. Because you're sitting there doing 1,200 fucking hand grabs, like with the crunch thing, you know what I'm talking about? It's like, man, it's a little over the top.
It's like, that's a lot, man.
Yeah. And also the way he, killed those two criminals. Like, he smashed one's head in with his boot, which is just fucked. And then the other one he beat to death with a crowbar, straight up went Joker on him, Jason Todd style, you know what I mean?
I can't beat him. A crowbar's not enough. But 2 crowbars.
He's like, if you hit on the elbow, that's the most effective spot. And it's like, god damn.
Because I saw like a clip of that. I think it was from like the trailer, and that was like what sold me. I was like, no, I'm watching this. This guy's too happy about crowbars.
The part
I support it.
The scene that sold me was when the magic circle that he created, and then it just made a wall, and then all of a sudden he's atomic, boom. Like that's one thing that I like. There's not a lot of animes where the main character comes out and is just stronger than everybody and shows it. Like, you got One Punch Man, The Eminence Shadow, Am I Really the Strongest? But he doesn't even come out and show it. He's like, he is the strongest, but he pretends like he's not, which really frustrates me.
I mean, Sid does that too. Until he decides to make Shadow have a appearance like he...
But I feel like that's like a superhero, what is it? I can't remember what the fuck it's called. Superheroes have a fucking
alter ego.
Yeah, it's like a superhero alter ego. You know.
Am I the strongest? He has alter ego.
Yeah. It's so dumb.
Yeah, but it's literally the same thing.
So
the only difference is Sid wants to do his, and the guy from Am I the Strongest is just like, I don't want to do this.
He doesn't want to do anything. He just wants to sit in his room and watch anime that he's pirated from the other universe. I don't understand how. That's a plot hole right there. Don't understand how he can see things from a different world. Like, it's not explained.
They just straight up, he was just like, yeah, I can access that, and he's like, oh shit, my accounts still work. It's like, how do your accounts still work? Which, you don't have money here,
right?
So like,
there's a plot hole in that show.
But at the same time, I'm sure Netflix, hey, long after you die, as long as it can still pull the money, Netflix will still take your money. So
like another thing. So remember in Overlord where he changed her settings right before everything, changed and whatnot like that.
Yeah.
So it's never talked about if he could go through and change more settings or anything like that. If he could do anything with these people, or like, I get it, they're like real now, you know what I mean? But that's about it. And they still haven't explained who the other worlder is, the one who took over the vampire girl. Like,
which that I don't think that's necessarily a plot hole. That's something that is like, hey, you find that shit. Yeah, I think it's one of those things like that's shit that.
When's season 4 coming out, man?
Shit,
right?
I don't think we were expecting season. Because I think season 4 happened, and then we're waiting on season 5 now. I think that's where they're at. but whatever their last season was, there was like a big hiatus before that came out. So we were like,
oh man, the one that I really want to come back because it just needs to be animated because just the ending is so good on it is Fire Force. There's not a lot of plot holes in Fire Force I've noticed though. I thought that was pretty interesting. Like the Adolaverse doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because only certain people can access the Adolaverse, which is weird, and how the world caught on fire, that like people naturally combine. Like it's a very strange anime that it's very hard to wrap your head around. But
especially because as far as like explaining that, it's like it's been confirmed that that's linked to Soul Eater.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, well, if that's the same world as the world of Soul Eater, at what time after Soul Eater happens does this shit happen?
No, it's the other way around.
Either way, I was like, so it's like, when does everything fuck up?
I can explain it to you.
I don't care.
Okay. See, that's another plot hole that doesn't make a lot of sense.
It's like they just threw the character and it's like, all right, did you just make these both, or are you actually gonna bring parallels to this? Because these worlds are very, very.
He brings them together.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does, but the way he does it, it's like that.
It's like you did it, but it's not satisfying.
Yes, 110%. Well, because okay, so you understand, like Shinra is like technically a god, right? Because he has the access to the Adolaverse and he can travel through time and rip apart particles and put them back together, which doesn't make any sense. There's a plot hole right there. How the fuck can you go fast enough that your particles rip apart, but then you go back in time to put them back together?
So fucking stupid.
That didn't make any sense at all.
I hated it immediately. I hated it. I was like, no.
Like his brother's makes more sense. He takes the heat from the world.
Yeah,
and it slows down because that makes sense. As things cool off, they slow down.
It was like he is literally
absorbing all of the heat
from the vibrations from your molecules.
Exactly.
It's like, okay,
that makes sense.
Ridiculous, but scientific.
Right.
Fucking Shinra's.
No.
I was like, nah, you don't.
That'll make no sense at all.
He's destroying himself, and then he's in a different time. I was like, wait, what? No, he's fucking dead.
And so, My Hero Academia plot holes. How many times has he broke his arm now after she said if you continue to break your arm, you'll not be able to use it? Like 3 more times, probably? At least 2?
I don't know that he has.
Oh, it was in the movies that he broke his arms again. And the movies aren't canon.
Did he break his arms again in the movies?
Yeah, in both of the movies. Well, that's why he had to give his blood to Deku.
Well, he was just getting fucked up.
Well, his arms were all purple. So, and then whenever he went 100%, and against the one guy, he was like punching the barrier, rapid punches against the barrier. His arms had to be destroyed. There's no way his body could have taken that.
I don't know, because a lot of that shit is also a lot of like when he started learning full cowling. That was when he was starting to understand. It's like, hey, I need to actually spread this out, and then at like the moment of like impact, I can move it to one spot or stuff like that. So being able to do that like instinctually because you're in like a terrible situation kind of makes sense for me.
Yeah.
It's like, you know you need to do it, but your body's like, we're going to do it. But it's just like when you're in other low level fights, lower stakes fights, you're consciously trying to do it, so it's fucking up. But the
when
whole
you subconsciously do it, it's like a little easier. I guess.
Yeah, it's the ultra instinct shit, and
right.
it's just like, no, you cannot think about getting ultra instinct and achieve it. Like you can't think at all. Like you just gotta let your body do shit.
That's why
on your
Vegeta
own.
can't do it.
And Vegeta won't do it. And I'm happy he said fuck that shit, because I was also like, you don't do that shit. You're actually smart.
His ultra ego is also not great because he has to take damage to become stronger, which I thought was a weird thing.
Yeah, which is it's something that's done in so much shit where it's just like, oh, I take damage and reflect it, or I take damage and accumulate that damage and I can throw it back or whatever.
But I mean, he's not healing though. Is the one thing. Like Granola literally puts his hand through his stomach, and then Vegeta gets more powerful because he takes an injury, and then. But it like you're bleeding out of your stomach.
It's like you still have a hole in your stomach.
Right.
Like, don't worry about it. You're thinking too much. It's like, no, I think you're not thinking enough.
But when Vegeta becomes enraged, you know what I mean? Like his pain don't mean shit to him. Like I feel like Vegeta with a broken body could power through way more than Goku could.
It's like, why are you walking right now? I'm good. It's like, you're not. No.
It's like, hey, listen, I will never be taken out on a stretcher.
In front of people? No way.
No fucking way. That's what. But Goku would be taken out in a stretcher. We've seen him be taken out in a stretcher. You know what I mean? So that's one difference. Vegeta has too much pride, though. You know what I mean? Way too much pride.
It's like you literally don't. Your spleen's over there. Like, please sit down.
You see Monty Python, right?
Some of it, yeah.
It's just a flesh wound.
It's not though. You gotta stop.
Give me one of them bean thingies.
I'm a warrior. I got this.
So one thing that really frustrated me about the new Dragon Ball Z arc was when Beerus gave Vegeta an earring to put on because it's a sign of destruction. You know what I mean? Like all destroyers wear it. He just put it on.
I don't remember that.
Oh it's during the Granola arc.
No, I haven't read that.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
not going to, so.
Yeah, it's after Moro, which I didn't like the Moro arc at all. I thought that was just like a fucking retelling of Cell almost, kind of. But
I've heard good things about it.
it's not bad because there are new interesting characters that are you learn more about the angels and stuff. But you got any other plot holes to talk about? Or things that need to be explained?
One major thing is everyone will die on this hill of Naruto being by himself.
Oh yeah.
And then they do all these flashbacks where he was hanging out with Choji and Shikamaru.
But his parents, like,
they're fucking dead.
No, I'm talking about Choji and Shikamaru. It's like
His parents said it was fine. Do what you want.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's good. Sorry, they did. And he also was hanging out with Shiba a little bit. But they didn't like treat him great. You know what I mean?
They treated him like he was a kid who was around them.
Yeah. I guess yeah. I remember my childhood. It wasn't great either.
My childhood was fine. We were actually friends. But it was like straight up. It was just like, no, we live in a town where everyone's being a ninja. You're already showing to like not be a good ninja. So it's just like, all right, so we can't do ninja shit. Shikamaru doesn't want to do ninja shit. It's like, you can hang out with us. I'm trying to chill. Choji's fine with chilling as long as he has chips.
Yeah.
Naruto wants to do shit. And it's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to do shit. And then Kiba's here who's like, sure, I'll do shit because I'm better than you at it. And now we all have to go do shit. And it's like, fuck you.
And then there was a whole actual episode that explained that. You remember they're running the tree and stuff like that, and then Kiba was just like, I got the fastest time still, walks over there, Naruto's time's there faster, and he's like, what the f-? He kept doing this!
It's a lot. It's a lot.
But I also think there are, like, the whole, so, the fourth could have done anything instead of having him be by himself.
I have a theory that he's perfectly fucking fine.
Because who watched him as a baby?
All them fucking ninjas that he kept sending around him.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's a valid point.
It's like, they're fucking ninjas.
But also, Jiraiya was his godfather, and Jiraiya was like, I'm gone. I'm out.
It was like,
Jiraiya was like, I ain't watching no kid. I got hoes to chase.
Even if you were out of the village, somebody let you know that fucking Minato's dead.
Yeah.
And in that process, you didn't check on
His son.
Kushina. You didn't check on his son.
No.
And you were like, all right, well, in the letter, did they say Kushina was dead? Because you might have been like, okay, well, Minato died. Kushina has Naruto. That's fine. And when you died, technically, Naruto was still unborn to his knowledge.
Oh, yeah.
What did that letter actually say?
Valid
If
point.
all that letter said was Minato died, and you're like, well, that fucking sucks. Next time I'm in the village, let me check on Kushina. If the letter says, hey, Minato and Kushina died,
You'd assume the baby died.
you're like, well, fuck, she was pregnant.
But
that
I
sucks.
didn't even know he got a letter or anything. I wouldn't even know how he
I'm just saying, I'm assuming if you got a letter. Because them knowing how close he was with Minato, I'm assuming somebody
Well, yeah,
sent
that's
word.
that's what I'm saying, though. That's a plot hole that was never explained in the anime about, like, what happened. Did he get word from somebody? Did he just say, I got hoes to chase? He was also writing his books and stuff like that.
He was writing his books, and if
And to be
I don't
fair,
know the
if he's...
timeline, that might have been during the time where he was raising those fucking rain ninjas.
Oh, that's true, too, yeah.
So if he was in the middle of raising them, he was like, well, shit, that fucking sucks, but...
Well, I mean, and also, it's like, if he was on the road, like, the road's not a place for a kid.
Yeah.
Especially a baby. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't think a legendary signing probably could have handled it, but...
I mean, Payne said himself that it was just one-on-one. He probably would have lost.
That Payne said that?
Well, it was also, remember whenever it was, Damon, I forgot his name. I forgot both their names. Kisame and Itachi and Itachi was just like, even with both of us, I don't know if we can win.
Yeah.
And then you saw where Itachi was like, I don't feel like doing this. Well, also you find out why Itachi didn't feel like doing it. He's like, I'm not an enemy really of the Leaf. The only reason, like, I feel like he would have actually saved Naruto, not actually given him up in that situation, because you find out later that he does save Naruto like twice. You know?
I don't know. It depends. Because I don't agree with any of the shit Itachi did either.
No? So what would you have done in Itachi's shoes?
Spoke to anyone in your fucking family.
Like, we should not be doing this? Because you saw he technically was the strongest.
And then people come through and they're like, hey, and more than likely Itachi didn't murder his whole family by himself. What's his face was there too.
Who's what's his face?
Fucking
Danzo?
No, not Danzo. Obito. Obito is pretending to be Madara was probably there too. Probably had a hand in that or whatever. And I was like, I don't fucking care.
Was it the same night? It wasn't the same night though. So how would he be there?
What do you mean it wasn't the same night?
The same night that he came to the village and released the Nine-Tailed Fox. So he was gone.
He was gone where?
Obito, he was so.
Where was he?
He had to have been trying to get the.
He had to have been?
Yeah, because it's never explained that he comes back to the village.
They don't tell you where anyone is.
Yeah. But also, if he's
whether the Obito thing is literally fan shit. None of that fucking matters.
Right.
The simple fact is, Itachi goes, hey, they're thinking about revolting. You don't fucking talk to anybody about it. You never went to a meeting.
You went snitch.
You just like...
You went snitch.
Danzo was like, hey, kill them all to protect the village. And it's like, but they protect the village. And they got a shitty hand. But alright, well, we're going to murder the Uchihas. Or we're going to go to war with the Uchihas. And your brother's probably going to die. And it's like, so, kill them all, your brother gets to live, or what? It's like...
That was a shitty thing that I fucking hated Danzo. I was so glad when fucking Sasuke killed his ass. But also, so someone brought up something that I thought was hilarious. You want to talk about someone stealing moves? Talk about how the reason you don't like Goku so much, but you love Sasuke. Motherfuckers takes everyone's moves. Name one move that was originally Sasuke's. You.
When did I ever say I love Sasuke?
I thought you liked Sasuke.
No.
Oh. Yeah, my bad. I
How the
apologize.
fuck would I like Sasuke?
I know, but he is almost...
He doesn't have an original thought in his head.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was getting at. It's just like, he's literally, like, he takes ideas from everyone else, and people fill him with stuff, and he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna do that now. It's like,
the
bro.
only original thing he ever does is naming his group. And for some reason, he names his group twice.
Yeah, it didn't...
Fucking stupid.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
We're the heaven.
And then...
What are we trying to do? Kill Danzo. Alright, we killed Danzo. Now we're the Taka. Why?
Right.
But why?
And now we're going to destroy the village hidden in the leaves.
Also, we're part of the fucking Akatsuki. It's like, wait.
What?
If you're part of the Akatsuki, then you don't get to be the Taka. You're just the Akatsuki.
Exactly, yeah. And you even got the cloud vests and everything. It didn't make a lot of sense to me.
Like you were formally invited. It was like, you signed the papers.
He got owned.
Absolutely washed.
By fucking the A-Tails, man.
Absolutely washed.
Like, he was rapping in the middle of beating your ass.
Literally, if you didn't take a couple bites out of Kai while y'all were fighting, like you were going to fucking die.
Like, I can't think of one win other than Danzo that he actually, or one fight other than Danzo that he actually won.
Well, what do you mean by actually won?
Like a one-on-one fight between Sasuke and somebody. I guess he beat Naruto technically because he knocked him out. But other than that. Who did you... okay, the Sound Ninjas where he broke his arms, I guess. He took out all three of them.
He beat those Sound Ninjas. Depending on where you want to stop the fight, he beat Gaara. As far as the Chunins, he beat Gaara.
Yeah, he was unconscious, but then he woke up because he got taken over by the... Two Tails?
Yeah, and like you said, he knocked out Naruto. That's the same shit. The only thing is, fucking Kurama was sealed, so he couldn't wake you back up.
Right.
So it's like, you still lost.
Yeah, he was knocked out for sure.
Yeah.
So we got like he took out the three Sound Ninjas.
And
technically Gaara.
He beat Orochimaru.
Yeah, Orochimaru was like half dead. I ain't gonna.
He beat Orochimaru. Hey, Orochimaru won at that fight.
Asterisk, man. Okay, I put an asterisk next to it. But
listen, I don't give a fuck. As soon as I know you are planning to take my body and was like, hey, I need you to be stronger so that I can take your body when you're stronger, and then you get weaker. And it's like, wait. You were going along with this plan to take my body and you got weaker? Fuck you, I'll kill you right now.
Yeah, and then I thought it was interesting whenever he ripped that part of Orochimaru out of Sasuke. I thought that was kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
And then Orochimaru came back to life, and he's just like, "You knew I was in there the whole time." He's like, "I can see you."
Taiji was like, "No, I got this move for your bitch ass."
Right. Because I knew what you were gonna try to do.
It's like I knew from the moment I fucking saw.
Well, I thought she's 5-6 steps ahead of everybody.
Yeah.
Like that's what I loved about it. Like
But that's the thing. You're 5 or 6 steps ahead of everybody, and you still was like,
the only way to save the village is to kill
murder my whole family.
Clan.
Like,
You know, I don't know if everyone's family in the clan. I have no idea how that actually works. They all have to be blood relatives, don't they? Because of the
at
eyes.
some point, yeah. It's like
Yeah. Which just makes it really weird because that means they all fucking each other. But I don't think that's true because you got Sasuke's daughter who got the eyes still, and her mom's not part of the clan, so.
Yeah, I was like, it definitely didn't. I did not take it as like now they have to. But I feel like
Maybe originally.
was there some incest involved? Probably.
Probably.
Especially with like seeing how the fucking the
Byakugan?
yeah, that family handles their shit. And it's like, yeah, there was probably some incest shit going on down the road.
See, that didn't make any sense to me. So you have like two branches. That never makes sense to me. You have two branches of the family, and one's a slave branch, and one's the royal branch. Like that doesn't make any sense to me at all.
I was like, that's some shit that's probably like real world, like a take that people like brought in, because that happens in a lot of shit. And I was like, more than likely that's like got some historical weight behind it. So
Yeah.
it's like, it probably was a real thing. It's like I also don't get or understand or care, but it's so prevalent in so many different animes. So I was like, that's gotta have like some type of historical background to it. To make it right.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
but it's got to be there somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure there are other plot holes that we missed, but that's our take on it for now. Got
Yeah.
anything else?
You know what? Just because since we moved over, I don't think I mentioned it. Rukia's bullshit for the very first episode.
Are you going to talk about this again? I think we've talked about it before. If you guys watched our previous episodes, Brody just thinks that Rukia was trying to use, I forgot his fucking name.
Ichigo.
Yeah, Ichigo as bait to get away.
Because it's the only thing that makes sense. Because everyone knew Flash Step. She didn't use it, and Ichigo got down them stairs and all the way to that monster before she made it even down the fucking stairs. She did not attack that monster until it was already attacking Ichigo.
Well, we don't even see her use Flash Step until, like, after she's healed.
You don't ever watch her do that shit. Like, she's not considered a speedy person.
Yeah.
But they hash out that Flash Step is just a basic fucking Soul Reaper shit.
Yeah, but you also, like, you never, like, there's a lot of Soul Reapers that you don't ever see use Flash Step, like lower level Soul Reapers.
And they explain it, I was like, no, it's just base level shit. And this is like, it's just a speed move. It's the same with the fucking Quincy's whatever German word they use for their step. I don't know what word
See,
it was, but
that's something that I thought that didn't make a lot of sense. So if he can control his spiritual pressure plus Reishi, plus his soul, you know, for being a Fullbringer and everything like that, shouldn't he be able to convert all three of those and become faster than everybody? Which, I guess they kind of explained that whenever he was jumping down from the Royal Kingdom all the way to the bottom. They're like, if you go at top speed, you should be able to make it in 3 days. And he goes, no, if I go at top speed, I can make it in 3 hours.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? So I guess it kind of makes sense.
because they don't show him. I don't think Ichigo knows how to or fully knows how to use Reishi.
No, not really, because
So I don't think he can use the Quincy's fast step. I'm going to say he can't use the Fullbringer abilities because he got his Fullbring taken from him.
but I thought he got it back whenever after he killed what's his name?
I don't think so. I don't think that he ever got the power back. He just became a Soul Reaper again because everybody else put their spiritual pressure into that fucking sword.
Right.
And stabbed him. So he became a Soul Reaper again, but he wasn't a Fullbringer anymore because his Fullbring shit was the fact that some of his spiritual pressure leaked out onto his combat pass.
Right.
So that shit was taken.
Okay.
So I don't think
Whatever,
he could use
okay.
whatever the Fullbringer bullshit step was.
Gotcha. Well, they should explain that. There's another one. Or like it was also like Odahime's powers don't make a lot of sense to me. I thought that was weird because they still haven't explained it. Like she's not a Fullbringer. She's not what damn it, the dark things.
Dark things.
The like the Arancars and stuff.
Oh, visors.
Yeah, she's not like a Visor or anything like that. She's just for hanging out with Ichigo. Her power level got high enough that her Barrette has abilities now. Like that made no sense. Like Chad just explained about how his abilities and stuff like that because he is he's a Fullbringer. It's explained that his mom died and stuff like that whenever she was in childbirth with him and stuff.
They literally make it to where she's a Fullbringer. Her shit's the same shit as Chad. His medium is his skin. Her medium is her breasts.
Okay, I guess.
It's not great.
Yeah.
But it's the same explanation. It's just not great.
I guess. All right.
I should have gave Tatsuki something, but she throw hands.
Right, for sure.
Want to see her get them gloves off.
That'd be an awesome, like, the captain of squad, I think 4 or 5 now, the one with the guy with the mohawk. Like, I thought have his dagger turned into brass knuckles that went up his arms and stuff. That was fucking. And he's just like, every time I hit you, it's like you being stabbed. And it's like, what the fuck?
What the fuck do you mean?
Dope as shit!
But
I didn't like that they didn't use their Fullbringer powers. That was one thing that really pissed me. Like, it made sense. Yeah, the visors. I said Fullbringer, I'm sorry. Yeah, they didn't use their visor powers. None of them did. That irritated the fuck out of me. I was like, they should not have died like that. If they would have been both knocked out.
The fact that I haven't seen a fucking mask in the 1,000-Year Blood War pisses me off.
It pisses me off too. Like there's a plot hole right there.
I was like, just what's going on?
What are they not like? Are they cured? Because that was never explained. Because they could have been cured.
The thing is, I don't think there's anything to cure.
Well, they had they're part Soul Reaper, part what are those things called? What are they called?
Hollow.
Yeah, part Hollow.
But again, to say they got cured would mean that someone's looking to reverse that.
Yeah,
no one's asking
take away the
anyone.
holification.
No one's asking you to do that because it's under control.
See that's what I'm saying. Like that, there's a plot hole right there because they all should have holified.
And that's why I was like, no one's trying to cure that. Even like these days, like I don't care about that shit.
Like if you see your whole squad, not just your squad, all the squads are being killed, aren't you gonna be like, maybe I should go full power, holify?
Hey, you see Bankais and shit, and I was like, why didn't you go visor? Like, why didn't you pull down the visor before you went Bankai? Like,
right.
It's immediately when they said, hey, they can steal our Bankais, visor should have been like, well, that sucks for y'all.
Exactly. But then none of the visors got their taken away because they were part hollow, and then you find out that the reason that there's that you can get them back is because the Quincy powers don't mix with the hollows.
And it's one of those things where it's like, my immediate would have been like, all right, well, shit, we can't use Bankai because they didn't know that at first. But it was told to them. It was like, hey, you can't use your Bankais. And it's like,
yeah, I don't want visored immediately.
Like immediately. It's
I'm pulling my mask on. I'm putting my mask on because I become stronger, faster, and to be fair, I become a little more brutal.
It's like, I'm putting it on just because I like it. It's like,
right? It's just like, listen, when my mask is off, I'm a decent person, you know? It's like, I'm not thinking about murderous and rage, but that second that mask comes on, like everything that I've been hiding in here comes out.
Fuck all of y'all.
Right? It's like, listen, I'm sorry if you're staying in the way of this sword swing, but I'm swinging it hard.
If you're on my side, go over there.
Right, get behind me.
Everyone that way
is getting cut in half. Alright, I think that's about it.
Talk to y'all later.
Oh.